Hi, thank you for watching Chittarupa Yoga and Fitness with Laura. Today we're going to do some strength building yoga. So a lot of power poses, building strength in our large muscle groups, particularly our core. Do me a favor and check the links below. Let me know what your favorite power move from today's class is in the comments also. All right, so let's begin in our mountain pose. And we want to get in touch with our feet connected to the ground. Find our joints stacked. That's where most of our power comes from. And let's go ahead and bring our hands to our belly, just below our navel, right at that third chakra. And just begin to inhale there. Exhale, squeezing it in. Again, finding that strength and power that comes from our core. And we'll hit the rest of our core by inhaling into our belly and up into our heart. And then we'll exhale from our heart down to our belly. And let's release from here, soft bend in our knees. Let's begin working our core with some pelvic tilts. So thinking about releasing our glutes for a moment, focusing exclusively on this belly area, from the ribs all the way down, squeezing over and over. Now let's release from here, inhale up, exhale, half forward fold. Inhaling up, exhale, half forward fold. So squeezing our shoulder blades together, lifting our navel to hold us halfway forward. This is strengthening our back and our entire core. 3 more breaths here. All right, let's bring it up from there, and we're going to step out wide. So turn sideways on the mat. We're going to jump right into some squats. Let's exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. So feeling that strength and power in our legs. Let's add some core with a little hinge forward. And we're going to bring our hands together, opening up in that squat. And again, just feeling the connection of our feet to the ground, that strength in our legs and our core, holding our chest up. Oh yeah, feeling a burn perhaps too. Let's lift up, turn our toes forward, and take a full forward fold. Now let's take our hands here. We're going to keep our feet wide, and we're going to walk forward, finding a plank. So wide leg plank. We can lift up from here, downward facing dog. And let's come forward to that plank again. Walking our hands back in. So let's lift up from here. We're going to lift the toes of one foot and find warrior 2. And again, just making sure that our spine is straight, shoulders over hips. That's key. And we're going to inhale, straighten up, turn our palms forward, and we're going to exhale, coming around. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it around. Working into our legs again. All right, let's exhale, coming to our lunge. And on our inhale, we're going to reverse our warrior. Let's come back and switch sides, finding our warrior 2, keeping our alignment. Let's straighten out, turn our hands forward. Exhale in the lunge, inhale, open up. Exhale around. All right, let's exhale around, final lunge, inhale, reverse warrior. Coming back to warrior two, let's turn forward and forward fold. So we're gonna look at that wide leg plank again, coming forward. Let's press up to our downward dog. And forward to our plank. So we're gonna start to hold this a little bit longer. We might even bring one hand in, lift our other hand up. Let's try the other side. Coming back to that plank, downward dog. All right, let's shift forward and walk our hands back. And making our way up. Let's walk it in. So we're gonna look at our chair pose next. Let's take our feet hip distance, weight behind the balls of our feet. And let's begin to shift our hips back. We're gonna keep that weight there. Hands can be at our thighs, our heart. We can reach them forward or up, wherever we feel the most powerful. The literal translation of this is powerful pose, which I prefer because it takes a lot of power to do this. Let's inhale up from here, and we're gonna come up onto our toes. And then we're gonna see about coming back into our chair pose. Set hands wherever we need them for balance. Take your time. Oops. Now some people may stay high like this. We may be able to shift our hips back a little further. Some people may even be able to come all the way down. Woo. A lot of balance working here too. Let's see if we can come back up. Push through the toes. And let's give our feet a little break. We are going to stretch everything out a bit when we finish. All right, let's step it out wide again. Let's find that warrior one or two, warrior two on that first side. That's what I was going for. Let's flip our hand and we're going to reach up to our reverse warrior. And then we'll take our forearm to our thigh. Our other hand can come to our hip or the ceiling. This hand can actually even come to the floor. And we're going to flow with this from the use of our core. We're going to inhale, reaching up, exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, exhale, any variation of our arms. This is your strength, whatever you need to build it. This is good for the shoulders. Let's come up to reverse warrior, and we're going to turn our palm forward, shift our hips back, and let's reach out. So we're going to hold halfway in our triangle here. Again, working our shoulders, arms parallel to the floor, but working our core. All right, let's switch sides. I'm already breaking a sweat. Whew. All right, so let's find our reverse warrior here. Flows will do that to you. So we're getting some cardio working here today too. And let's find that side angle. Remember, you've got variations on arms. Let's take it to our reverse warrior and begin our flow. Exhale over, inhale up. And again, working our arms, whatever way is building the strength in our body. This is core and upper body here. Our lower body, of course, is getting that nice isometric contraction, building some strength. Let's take it back to the reverse warrior. And we'll straighten our leg, turn our palm forward, shift our hips. And again, reach, arms parallel to the floor, hug that core in and hold. It's almost like doing plank. Let's lift up, turn our toes forward, and guess what? We're gonna do some more plank. Let's fold forward. Let's take it to one more wide-legged plank. So maybe keeping that one hand there, lifting one up. Or we keep both hands down. Try the other side if you're lifting one. Let's take a downward dog. Shift forward and walk it back in. All right, let's bring it up halfway in. We're gonna circle our hips. We're gonna take it to the floor for some different strength building. But let's take it through our garland pose, which is another deep squat, hands at our heart. Stay high for a moment. We can always bring our hands to our thighs at any point, onto the floor at any point, but we're gonna see if we can lower down into as deep a squat as we personally can get into. This is one that I do a lot, so let's go ahead and make our way onto the floor. Hopefully that opened our hips up a bit, because we're gonna move to some boats. So let's get up on our sit bones. The key here is to keep our hips tilting forward and our heart to the ceiling. We also want to squeeze our thighs together, and we can get a lot of work done if we lift just one foot. More work if we lift two. Keep breathing, that's the key. Lifting up. We can even straighten this out. Let's lower down, soles of the feet together, and let's open up right here. Deep breaths. So hitting our core a little more. Let's come onto our side. So you might want to roll the mat up a little bit underneath the elbow. Or a lot underneath the elbow. And this can be done with long legs. I'm having a little tendonitis in this elbow, so I'm going to stay on the knees. But let's lift up. Let's see if I can do this. And we're going to dip down and up a few times. If you would rather just lift and hold, just lift and hold. And we are all going to lift and hold. Let's release down. We'll stack our knees, find our mermaid pose, and reach up and over. Okay, let's go ahead and get the other side over with. It's the same thing. You can do this from long legs. I'm going to do it the same way I just did it. Do it the same way that you just did it. So we're going to be here, lifting up, and again, dips. Or if you just held, hold this time. I like balance. So I think I held for a few seconds here, and then kept going. And then everybody holds. Let's come down, stagger our feet, and mermaid stretch. Very good. Lots of core in here. So let's bring this down, come over to our hands and knees. So let's go ahead and take it back to some lower body strengthening. From our stacked joints here, let's extend one leg out, bending at the knee. So we're going to flex our foot and we're going to squeeze through our glute. And that glute is what's going to cause us to tap our heel on the ceiling over and over. Squeeze and lift. Let's lower down. Make sure I'm on the mat. And press. Stretching everything out. Now let's come back and hit the other side. It's the same thing. Stack our joints. Let's lift up and bend the knee. Flex our foot. Squeeze the glutes. This is glute work. Breathing. We always want to breathe. All right, let's take this down. Push back. And since we just worked our glutes really big, let's look at stretching them out with our pigeon pose. So let's bring one foot forward, and we're going to toe heel it across. And we'll let the knee come down as we walk our other leg back. Try and pull that front of that other thigh onto the mat. We don't want to roll off onto this glute, we want to pull forward. And this foot is coming in as far as we need it to come in. Make sure to breathe. We're going to pretend we're doing push-ups. Push up and come back. Let's bring our other foot forward. Toe heel across. Same thing. We're going to start to lower that knee down while walking the other leg back. Letting this foot come in as far as it needs to. Coming forward onto that front of that one hip or thigh. Breathing. And if this feels good to you, you can pause and stay here longer on these pigeons. Otherwise, we're going to push up and come back. Okay, let's come around on to our arms. Let's try that both one more time. So remember, tilt the hips forward, squeeze knees together. Here we go. So options, holding on. Remember, we can always have one foot down. Straighten. Let go. Just trying to bide the time here. Let's lower down. This time, let's take our legs wide and fold forward. Breathe. So we worked a lot of strength in our legs, our core, a little bit of shoulder. Let's look at our chest next. So coming back to hands and knees. So let's start here, turning our elbow creases forward and do just a few little push-ups right here, getting a feel for the move. Then we can step back to our plank and do our push-ups from there. We also have the option of taking it from knees. So whatever variation you're feeling today, even if you want to come back to this one, all of them are working our arms and chest. Let's take it to a child's pose. And we're going to come forward on to our belly. Let's find our cobra pose. And just kind of work on lifting up little by little through our lower back. So making sure that all the work we're doing is in our back. We can always lift up a little bit more, but remember, we want to find that place where our back is doing the work. Building some strength there. So let's lower down and rest for a moment. And just take a moment to notice how that feels. If we want to continue working from there, we can do the cobra again. But we might also look at our upward facing dog. Bringing our hands to our chest, shoulders back and down, pushing the tops of our feet into the floor, so that as we push up this time, we lift all the way up till we're just on our hands and feet. Back arched, heart forward, shoulders down. Breathing as best we can. And for most strength building, let's flip our toes, finding our downward facing dog. All right, let's come down from here and start to stretch things out. So let's reach back, clasp our hands, any kind of seat that you want. That should have gotten our heart rate up a little bit. Back bends and arm balances do that, and that was a back bend and arm balance. So let's see if we can get our breath back. And we're going to take this to a deep side stretch. And hamstring stretch. So reach up and over. We are going to roll down onto our back in a moment for some more core strengthening. All right, let's switch sides. Reach up and then over if we want to go over. Okay, and let's release from here, roll all the way down to our back. And take a moment, shake everything out. And when we're ready, we'll bring hands and feet down by our side. Hands by our side, feet on the floor. Now let's take this to our bridge pose. And we're actually going to do pelvic tilts in the air. So this is working our core, belly back, glutes this time. A lot of glute today. Let's lift and press. Lowering all the way down, soles of the feet together, knees open. Let's take our hands behind our head. We'll lift our head and chest. Let's take it to a few regular crunches right here. Or fast ones. Let's lift and hold. Releasing down. So legs wherever we want them. We can take them long, keep the knees up, whatever feels comfortable. We're going to work our neck a little bit. We don't do as much neck strengthening as we probably should. So shoulders flat on the floor. And we're going to lift our head straight up, like we're going to touch our nose to the ceiling. And you can already tell there's a lot of work going on. It's hard to talk. Let's release down, let our head roll to one side and the other. So this is like a boat pose for our neck. Let's come back to the center, do that one more time. Just straight up and inch yourself. That's all it takes. And again, we'll release, let our head roll to one side and then the other. Let's lift up from here. We're going to take it to our figure 4 or upside down pigeon stretch. Just finish stretching out our body a little bit, take a little rest, and call it a day. So let's go ahead and take this wide. And we're going to switch sides, hug it in. And just noticing how we're feeling. Let's release down from here. We're going to take a nice easy twist, knees in and over. Always like to do some twists. See if we can relax in our twist. All right, let's come back up. Easy twist other side, just dropping over. All right, let's bring that back up. And we're going to take Shavasana. So again, whatever's comfortable with our knees, our legs. Let's just find a place where we can let everything go. We did a lot of work here, so let's balance that out with some rest for healing. It's after a muscle workout, it's that resting period afterwards where the strength is actually gained and the repairing of the muscles. So let's give our muscles a little jump start on that repairing by releasing our legs completely into the floor. Releasing our arms completely. Allowing our breath to just come as it will. Feeling the support of the floor under our head. Seeing if we can let go of all movement in our body and our mind. So if you want to stay here, you can stay here. But whenever you're ready to come out, just remember, start at the fingers and toes, working our way up our arms and legs. The longer you stay in Shavasana, the longer you should take to come up, especially if you've been on the floor. And remember, any yoga video that you do, anybody's video, when they get to Shavasana, you can always pause the video for as long as you want, and then hit play again when you're ready to come out. If you don't, go ahead and just start small and work your way up on your own. All right? Well, I appreciate you joining me today, as always. Again, make sure to check any links that are below. Find me on Patreon, lots of videos there. And I will see you next time I see you.